Alright, peace. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, giving honor and praise to the God of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. Giving double honors to 7130 South Chicago that taught me this truth. Giving double honors to all the brothers and sisters that the Creator has awoken in these last days. With that being said, peace and shalom. Alright, brothers and sisters, I want to go into this video, right? This lesson or discussion that I'm going to be having, it's not going to be too long. It's going to be kind of brief. And what I want to do is I want to talk about how Dr. Umar Johnson is always talking about men bunny hopping and things of this nature. But here it is. The man that he named his school after, I think his school is called the Frederick Douglas Marcus Garvey Academy, I believe. Frederick Douglass was married to a so-called white woman. So it's interesting on how this brother, he criticizes a lot of men because they date, quote unquote, outside of their race. But here it is, he's promoting a school, which I don't have a problem with the school. I think Frederick Douglass should be up there, right? Because Frederick Douglass did a lot of things for so-called black people during the slavery years, right? But we have to pay attention to a lot of people like this is because they will sit back and they will criticize other people because they may fall in love or they may want to have a relationship with a female of another nation, right? But here it is, and he's an advocate of black men, so-called black men, quote unquote, dating the same color or group of people, what we would call African Americans, right? Which that's not a problem either. It's because, in a sense, we should date, people of our own nation and things of this nation. I'm not here promoting that African American or Africans is a nation of people because it's not, right? But I'm just saying that for educational purposes. All I'm saying is this. You can't really control who you fall in love with, right? And Frederick Douglass is a prime example of this. So let's read the bio. It says Helen Pitts, right? It says his first wife was a free black woman he met while still enslaved in Maryland, named Anna Murray. He married her under a different name after escaping to New York in 1838. They had 5 children and were married until her death in 1882. Now check this out. After she died, Douglass married Helen Pitts, a much younger white woman, in 1884. Right? So he was a much older man, but he married a young white, so-called white woman. So what you gotta ask yourself, Dr. Umar, if you gonna criticize every black man, you said that you didn't want to. You said that if Bronny James continues to date quote unquote snow bunnies or do the bunny hopping, that you wouldn't support him. But here it is, you have named your college or not your college, but your school after which supposed to be your great relative but your great relative was a bunny hopper. And not only was he sleeping with snow bunnies, he married one. So is that's very hypocritical of Dr. Umar Johnson, that he will criticize quote unquote black men for dating quote unquote white women, but he draws a line in the sand. He says that he's not going to support you if you messing with white women, but his great ancestors, which he claims to be a great ancestor to Frederick Douglas was married to a white Caucasian woman. So Frederick Douglass is a bunny hopper. So why are you supporting Frederick Douglass by putting his name on your school? Let's look at a picture. This is the female that he's supposed to marry after his first wife had died, right? They saying that he married a much younger woman by the name of Helen Pitts. So I believe that she's the female that's standing up. You know what I'm saying? But the point is being made is we have to watch what we say about others and then want us to support these people, but they're turning around and doing the same thing, right? And see, we don't know Dr. Umar. I get the whole just is that we should be trying to uplift and build up our own people. But like I said before, we have to get out of this mindset. See, we have taken on the same mindset as the so-called white man. The so-called white man did not want to date quote-unquote black women, or the white woman didn't want they didn't want to date the black men, but they was hypocrites, because when they was saying this, behind closed doors, this is what they was doing. During the slavery years, you had many white women that looked at black men as grotesque, and the same thing as white men looking at black women as grotesque. They will put derogatory pictures of them on milk cartons and cigarette cartons and things of this nature, but behind closed doors they was sleeping with these people. And see, if you're going to talk about black men messing with black women and you're not supporting them, but you have your relative, his second wife was a Caucasian woman. So if you're not going to support LeBron James' son because you saying that he's messing with white women, then you're a hypocrite. It's because one of the greatest freedom fighters that was fighting during the abolitionist movement during the 1800s was married to a white woman. So with that being said, peace, shalom.